Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are going to do a character guide on Sherlotta. Now this is my second guide on her. This is an update to my last one. Sherlotta is getting a big update here with an FR and a BT. So in this guide, I'm going to go through her whole kit as if you've never seen a guide on her before, explain all that. We're going to look at her artifacts, her spheres. We'll do a little demo on her and show you how she works. We'll talk about her force enhancements a little bit. And as a bonus, I'm going to talk about her calls because it was requested in one of my videos. There was actually quite a few people commenting saying that they want me to talk about the character's calls in these guides. So I'm going to add calls as well. And I'm just going to give you an overview of what the call does and then explain like what situations you would want to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with the call before I forget to do that. So I intentionally put the call on my party so it like wouldn't let me go into the quest. Because you can't use the call and the character at the same time. So I'm going to talk about it. So for those of you unfamiliar with Sherlotta, Sherlotta is basically a brave gain character. Like she's all about brave gains and support, and she does damage based on the party's current brave, which is really ridiculous. She has an overhead buff with the staff that stores a bunch of brave in, and it like exceeds caps, so she can do like insane damage, right? But in terms of her calls, her normal call, Crystal Generation, doesn't do anything too crazy. It's just a little bit of a battery. It's going to do an attack based on the party's current brave. So nothing too crazy there, but her LD call is actually really good. So her LD call is going to do 100% gravity. So this gravity is really good in fights where like the enemies like have reduce your brave damage to 1, or they're really hard to break. Something like that. Like that's really good to have just an on-hand gravity if you're not running gravity in your party and you need that. So that's really good because it's going to make the enemy very breakable, right? And then it's going to do a big battery, which is a lot, and it's going to do a big HP attack based on the party brave, all that stuff, right? So very, very good. And then the other thing, like I said, this is a good battery call. So the two main characters or types of characters you're going to want to use this on, you're going to want to use it in a situation where you need the gravity, or you're going to use it in a situation where you really want the battery. So Sherlotta, for example, is a very popular call for Snowverflow. So when you're doing Snowverflow, you want to have a lot of battery calls to help you gain battery to exceed past your normal brave limit, and then Snow's BT effect allows you to hold on to that and do a ton of damage. So that's the main place that you want to use it. But anytime you want just like a battery and call, Sherlotta is a pretty good battery call, right? Now, in terms of force enhancements, let's pop back into Sherlotta here. Force enhancements, her C15 is actually a force charging move instant turn. So it's very similar to like what Pinello does. But she just does it on her 15, not her 35, which is fine. Her 35 doesn't have a ton of skill uses anyways. She gets a lot of skill uses of her 15, which is awesome. So it's a free instant turn battery attack that helps charge the force gauge, and it does do a 50% damage bonus during force time, which could be useful, but during her own you won't really need to use it. I'll explain how to do her force time properly here. Very, very good. But so if you want the full effect of her charging ability, you want to take her to at least force enhancement 25, and you're going to have to use the 3 force stones to get her to 25 anyway, so you might as well take her to 30. Sherlotta is a very good character. I do recommend full investment on her. She's a very, very good character. Actually, with Sherlotta, her FR isn't nearly as important as her BT. So, like, if you have her no FR but get the BT and fully build her that way, she's going to be just fine there as well. But her force can be very good if you use it right. So we'll talk about that here. So let's go ahead and take a look at her artifacts here. So Sherlotta's artifact build is a little bit different than what you would expect. You really want max brave. Like max brave, max brave, max brave as much as possible. Most of her battery scales off max brave. She has one, I think it's her Crystal Generation, scales off of attack. But like 99% of what she's doing is going to be max brave battery. So you really want to prioritize. This is what you want right here. Is you want max brave 330 and living out eternity boost 2-star. And max brave 330 is your highest priority. So if you get that and anything else, that's going to be fine. But try to get 3 max brave 330s on her. And then living out eternity boost is going to give her a little bit more max brave on top of that. You really want that brave cap to go up. Because like I said, the way her mechanic works with her staff is she's going to be able to exceed your brave limits already, and it's going to allow her to go even higher and do crazy damage. So that's really what I'd recommend there. And then on her spheres, she has some very definite sphere recommendations here. So her force effect in order to get the full damage bonus. Basically what it's going to do is going to go up by 40% if you're using a transform HP or brave attack, right? Which is very easy to get with characters. Then you get 20% if Sherlotta herself is battering the party. Now the thing is when you're actually attacking with her, the attack you want to use batteries herself, but I don't believe it batteries the party. So on the C slot, you want to put Paladin, Cecil, or Lillicet, because they're going to basically, when you're attacking a broken target, or you break a target, you're going to do party battery on that, and you need that to just trigger that force effect. So basically, with one of those two spheres, she's going to be able to herself trigger the full 60%, and she's going to do a lot of damage. Now, my number one best in slot recommendation is Paladin Cecil. You can see I went all out here. I've got 2 full Paladin Cecil spheres. You don't need to have the full ones. Just the refined ones is fine. If you've been watching my channel during Paladin Cecil's, when he came back, I highly recommended you all grind up like 15 to 20 of his refined sphere. So hopefully you got a couple of those on hand. Slap 2 Paladin Cecil's on her and you're good to go. Okay? It's basically going to allow her to brave gain the party when she attacks a broken target, which is awesome. Or if she breaks. The D slot, I think best in slot here is Hope, because once again, you want max brave. And Hope does attack and max brave, which is the best of both worlds, because on a D slot, you usually want to attack buff the party anyways. So Hope is really, really the best in slot here. I can't really argue for another sphere over Hope. But if you don't have Hope, go with something that does either max brave or attack, or maybe a combo of max brave and I brave, or maybe attack and something else. But if you can, try to get max brave on here. Okay, so that's what I recommend on the spheres. All right, so you can see my Sherlotta is decked out. I did my August trade-in. I traded in my dagger, so I got the full unique weapon to put on her. So she's got all of her weapons max. She's Force Enhanced 30. She's got blue armor, full slotted spheres. Like, this is a decked out Sherlotta. So let's go ahead and hop in here. Now, another thing in general I will say, so I got to swap this sphere out, or not the sphere, this call. We'll just throw something on there just to have something. Sherlotta does pair well with other battery characters. So, like, Garnet pairs pretty well with her, and then also I would say like Ishtola, like characters like that can pair well with Sherlotta, because the more battery you have, the more impressive her damage is going to look from her staff. So let's go ahead and hop into a fight here, and we're going to start talking about her. Now, Sherlotta does start like with all of her main buffs and stuff on. Actually, do I want to? No, we won't bring in a friend here. We'll just, actually I kind of do. Hold on. No, we'll just start. It would mess up at this point. I was going to say, I kind of want to bring in an off-turn to make her burst phase look really good. But we'll just do it without off-turn damage. We'll just kind of hop in with a pretty raw burst phase and stuff here, right? So, Sherlotta kind of starts with all of her main buffs. So, there isn't, like, a really important, like, main rotation or flow that you have to do to start. So, I'm basically just going to kind of go and explain all of her moves. Then what I want to do is I want to get into her force time. And then in her force time, we're going to do her burst phase, and I'm going to kind of explain kind of the cycle to maximize her burst phase, right? So Garnet, let's just start with some good old Garnet stuff. How we like to start her off here. Let's go ahead and use her AA, and then we'll get her BT effect on. Okay, and then we'll do the BT effect here. Actually, I kind of don't want these enemies to mess with me, so let's just go ahead and wipe a turn here too. Okay, we'll do that. All right, now let's go ahead. Oh, low bat. That's fine. We should be able to get through the video. We should have enough power to get through the video, hopefully. All right, let's go ahead and do this BT effect here. Yeah, we should hopefully be good here. But yeah, when I'm doing OBS, it drains my phone quick. So if we see that 10% warning, we're gonna be snap speeding through here. But we should be okay. All right. So we got Garnet's BT effect up. All right, so Sherlotta. She does a lot of battery and a lot of crazy things. So we'll show her 15 first. It's Light of the Crystal. It's literally like a free turn, free skill use. You also see how it's glowing blue like that? That's how you know it's like a force charging attack. So let's go ahead and do it. And it's basically, you're going to see it's going to force charge pretty heavily here. Give us a nice big fat battery and then a free turn. And then it gives her the Light of the Crystal buff. She starts with this at the beginning, so you don't have to open with this. But it just gives her attack max brave, gives the party max brave up, and then HP regen, which is really good. So she does have healing in her kit, right? So that's what that attack does. Next, we'll show off crystal generation. So this is going to do another battery. This battery is based on her attack, but it's not a big deal. It'll still do really good. It's going to do split HP damage. And then I believe it scales off. What it's doing, it's basically attacking based on whatever the party's current brave is at. And then at the very end, it will consume her brave when she does it. You can see it's very low skill usage, but she has ways to re-get those skill uses back. So let's go ahead and press it. Okay. So you can see just like batteries up and then just does like a really big, I mean, what, that was 800k AoE? Like that's pretty good. And we're not even like in a force time, right? Now keep in mind, this is a fully decked out, right? Sherlotta. But sure, let's do a cure here. Let's get these guys broken. Since it's free, we're going to turn swap back into Sherlotta. But you can see if you're running her into like a Brave Gain comp, you can see my Brave Gain here is just staying capped like all the time pretty much. So let's go ahead and swap back into Sherlotta. Okay. So the next thing we can show off here, her AA, which is called Brave Heal All, it's literally just like a quick little on-demand battery, right? And it does affect party Brave Gain. So like at some point you can use this. And you can see it just does like Brave Gain. Then you get that AA effect for 5 turns. Okay. So that's pretty basic there. Now, look at her overhead. So every time she batteries, that staff above her head is stacking that brave. And you can see right now it's at 674,991. You probably can't see it on your screen because the number is really small. But there's a really small orange printed number. You can actually read it. She's got over 600k brave stored in that staff. So every time she's brave gaining herself, she's storing that into staff. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind as we go through here, okay? So let's go ahead and pop her LD, which is called Crystal Ray. So let's go ahead and do this. This is going to do the 100% battery. That I was talking about this with the call, or not battery. It's going to do a 100% gravity. Let's see how much damage this does, by the way. Okay, so he's did 1.2 mil, right? AoE, no force time, okay? Now what it did is it did do HP based on the relic staff, so it consumes some of that stored brave in the staff. And then what she's going to get, let's go ahead and swap back into Sherlotta here. The other thing she gets from the LD is she gets a transformed HP attack called Chuck Staff. Now, I'm not going to use it yet because I want to save it. But see that HP attack? Chuck Staff has 3 turns. What happens is if she doesn't have it, it changes the HP attack to Chuck Staff, and she's got 3 chucks. So she can chuck it 3 times. Now, here's the thing. If I use the LD while I have Chuck Staff, it just adds 3 more skill uses to it. So if you're doing her FR, before you go into her burst phase, you want to have 6 stacks of that so you can like keep chucking during the burst phase. So we want to use the LD twice before we go into the burst. So we'll wait to use that. But this is a good opportunity to show the EX. So the EX here is Crystal Core Wave. And this also is an instant turn. And you can see it's highlighted blue. So it's kind of going to do force chargey stuff also. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's see how much damage we get out of this one here. It does give her a buff. It also does a gravity. Okay. So it's literally just a buff and a gravity. So it actually doesn't do damage. So it's a party, 100% gravity, free turn. And then that gives her a skill use of her S2. So her skill 2 here, if we, or no, we're on the right page. You can see Crystal Generation went back up to 5. So now she's got that back. So kind of the old school way to play Sherlotta was you would use that, get all the Brave battery up, and then you'd go into the S2 because the party's got a lot of battery, and that's going to do more damage, right? Once again, now her staff is fully stacked up. It's at 674,991. I think for my particular setup here, that's kind of what it's capping at, right? So now what I want to do, guys, because I pretty much showed everything other than the burst, is I want to actually get into her FR. So actually what I'm going to do here, let's do her like single burst attack first. So let's go ahead and do that. This is called Final Crystal Core. So let's go ahead and do it. This is my first time actually seeing it because it just came out. So I kind of want to watch the anim. Yeah, just a fat battery. Look at that battery. Holy buckets. Very fat battery. She's at 624k Brave right now. Okay. And then just did a huge dump. 1.2 mil AoE. Okay. And her staff is still full right now. She's just got to watch that staff number, right? So now her BT effect is up. So what her BT effect, it's going to be a 10-turn effect. So basically it does a Brave regen every turn. So like the party's just constantly going to get braved up. And then every Brave hit done, there's going to be a 10% Brave gain on top of it. So even more Brave gain when you're hitting. HP damage up, HP damage limit up, like just very good. Okay, so it's a very good BT effect. Let's go ahead and swap back to Sherlotta now. Now, you normally wouldn't want to do what I'm about to do here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to force charge to get the force gauge up. You would want to wait and do the BT. Like if you're going to charge with Sherlotta, you don't want to be charging with their BT effect up because I'm going to burn through it right now. So just keep that in mind. But what I'm going to do... Oh, she also has a transform Brave attack called Tranquil Light. It's pretty much just like a free battery. Nothing too crazy. I wouldn't press that too often. She's got enough better buttons that you won't really need to press it, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spam Light of the Crystal. And this is basically replacing what I do with Penelo. We're going to do this to try to force charge up as fast as we can here. Just keep doing these free moves here. And we'll try to get that force gauge up. Okay, and what I'll do is as the EX comes up, that's a free turn, so we'll just charge with that. Very similar to how Penelo, we would just crank on our 15 and 35, and then we would do the EX to do like that free attack, free turn. You can kind of do that with Sherlotta here, right? Very similar style of play. So yep, let's go ahead and just keep force charging here. Once again, you can see I'm going to burn through my burst effect by doing that, so I don't recommend you normally do it this way. But now I want to just get into it. I just wanted to show you the attack off, right? So let's keep doing Light of the Crystal. You can see the staff right now is at, well, you probably can't see, but I'll tell you, my stored staff Brave right now is 734k. So it's up there. So let's just keep charging away. I want to get into her force time to show that off. So we are going to burn through like all the skill uses here. Let's do Crystal Core again. Okay. And then, yeah, get Garnet's follow-up there. Very good. All right, so let's just keep charging away. Now, there's no reason you couldn't combo her with another force charging to, like, especially if you're going to use multiple force times. You could run 2 force charging characters and then help get that gauge up multiple times if you think it's going to be a fight where you need to do that. Where I'd say moving forward, it's going to get harder and harder to, like, just outright kill him in one burst or in one force time. Because the boss HP starts scaling up really a lot at this point. Let's keep going here. So it's pretty much going to burn out all of my 15 uses here to get the sucker charged up. Do it again. Actually, I might not even get it fully charged, which is fine. We can just take a couple more turns and then get there. So let's do the EX again. Okay. Oh, and I didn't even mention, so like the EX gets the Light of Creation buff, so I didn't actually explain what this one is. So that's a party attack and HP damage up, so you definitely want to press that when it's up, and it's a free turn. So there's like no reason not to press the EX, it's just free instant turn, right? And then better HP regen and then Brave regen, so that's very, very good, right? So let's go ahead, and we're almost there, so let's do this last one here. Okay, we're just about there. Let me try popping the AA and see if that gets us there. Oh, it's like just a teeny itty bitty. So here's what I'll do. I'll just go to another Rem turn. So let's go ahead and just do another crystal generation here. That's fine. Okay. And then, guys, get ready. You're going to see some crazy shenanigans here. So let's go ahead and go in again. All right, and then we're going to have Rem swap in, and then we're going to go into Force Time and then into Burst. Or no, shoot, not yet. I got to use another LD first. I should have used the LD previously. So let's go ahead and swap turns. This is fine. We'll still get there. So we have to do another LD because my Chuck Staff is at 3, and I would like to have that at 6, right? So let's go ahead and get that up to 6 here. All right. So, I mean, I've got that free EX use, but let's go ahead. Let's do the LD again. Yes, let's do that. Okay. Okay. And then we want to make sure the staff is maxed out too before we do all this. So I'm going to like get that staff maxed out by doing some more Brave Gain stuff. So let's go and swap turns into Sherlotta. So I think I can use her AA. Yeah, I mean, she's Brave gaining like a ton already. She's at 500k. But I want that maxed out before I go into this. So let me go ahead and do another AA here. All right, now we're pretty much, yeah, we're at that 674 number. So we're pretty much capped out there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and hop into the Force. So let's go ahead. So this is called Crystal Dice. So I'm just going to watch this because I haven't seen it yet. And then I'll kind of explain. Oh yeah, Kate Sith, of course. Okay, so go ahead and do that. How much damage we got here? Alright, so that's pretty decent little bit of damage, right? Okay, so now here's what's going to happen. Other party members, the most they can get from this is 40%. So let me just explain what just happened there. So basically we did a big party battery based on Max Brave. It basically, anybody that's not broken, it just sets their Brave to 0. So once again, gravity. A big AoE attack, right? The force attack doesn't affect her relic staff. So you can see the relic staff stayed maxed out. Okay. And then it does the big damage limit up and all that a force time does. So now that we're in force time, basically if you use a transform braver HP attack, it'll do plus 40. And then if Sherlotta batteries, it'll do 20. So the idea here is when Sherlotta's up, we want to do a transformed HP attack and we want her to battery, right? So Garnet actually has transformed attacks. So let me go ahead and do this Dragon Wave. This is a transformed attack. Should give us 40%. Let's see the gauge go up. Yep, 40%. So we got it. Now we're going to swap turns into her here. So let's go ahead and swap turns. So this won't do anything crazy, but we'll just get her up. All right, and then we want to get Sherlotta's BT going. And then we're going to do some craziness. So let's go into Sherlotta's Burst. So let's do that. And now what we want to do is we're just going to start chucking the staff here. All right, so chuck staff, you can see we got 6 uses of it because we went into it by using the LD twice. So now let's go ahead and chuck, and let's see how much damage this does, and this should do a 60% up. Once again, the Paladin Cecil Sphere is helping with this. So let's chuck staff. So you can see she only batteried herself, but the Paladin Cecil would give battery to the party. Now I think I only saw 43% there. Let's see on the next turn if it's still doing 43%. Okay, so let's chuck the staff again. And her staff is staying full. Let's chuck it again. Only 43, so there could be something up with that. I'm not sure why. We might have to have more. I don't know. So someone in the comments can let me know. But my understanding is that's supposed to be 60. So I could be wrong. But it's only doing 40. But that's fine. We'll keep chucking the staff out. Like I said, I'm not like the crazy. We're doing a lot of damage with the staff, by the way. Did you guys see that? It was like 1.9 mil with 1.2 splash, which is kind of crazy, right? I'm trying to think of another. Yeah, the only way to get it, we have to use one of the transformed ones, right? Like I could do. Let's do Tranquil Light because that's transformed. I know that's battery. Let's see. Okay, so Tranquil Light, we're getting the 60%. But Crystal Wave, my understanding is if we have that Paladin Cecil Sphere on, we're supposed to get the full one. So I'll have to do more experimenting with that. But if anybody knows why that isn't triggering, go ahead and just put it in the comments. But this is still, like, this chuck staff is still really good damage, right? So let's go ahead and do this, just so you guys understand this right here. Like, yeah, 2.7 mil, we're under 400%, and she's already doing, like, that kind of damage, which is pretty darn good, right? Pretty darn good indeed. So let's chuck the staff again. Sure. Yeah, 3.1. Just crazy damage. And then let's do the actual burst attack again. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, this big time battery. Look at that. Just, yeah, some nuke damage there. So we got a little 33 million burst. But this is why people will say, like, the force isn't necessary because she's not going to have the most damaging force in the game. But the rest of what she's doing in her kit is great, and her BT effect is great. And you can see when we do the BT, it does allow her to go above that 600k that I'm at. I'm at 734k stored on the staff. Let's just get a couple more turns here. Oh, we're on the last turn. That's kind of unfortunate because I kind of want to swap into her and chuck the staff with all this stuff up, but we don't really have that option. So I'm sure let's go ahead and just do Rems EX and see how much we can get out of that. 1.4 AoE, that's not too bad. Okay. So anyways, there you go. That's Sherlotta. So the only hiccup there, not sure why she wasn't getting the 60% on the chuck staff. Maybe you can't do it. Like I said, somebody in the comments let me know. But you do get the full 60% if you do the Tranquil. But once again, you're not actually attacking. If you're doing it with off turn, though, that's fine. Like, you could do Tranquil and, like, spam that. And then just let Kane or somebody do damage. So that's another option you can do as well. But Sherlotta, really good, like, just straight up character. You could use her with the other force time characters and she's going to do just fine. So anyways, let me know what you guys think of Sherlotta. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all on the next one.